Hello, testing, testing. All right. You can tell I'm rushed. Yeah, I'm a little late. All right. Welcome, everybody. Welcome, welcome. I can see that there's tons of people that are here and they're on time, unlike myself, who has a busy schedule, unfortunately. Work ran late, and then I had to run all the way 2 towns over to grab my youngest son's birthday cake for tomorrow, because tomorrow's his birthday. So I'm here now because I just got home. Hello, everybody. Hello. So I'm just gonna quickly. There it is. Okay. So why does it not? If I do this, will it let me go up? No. Okay. I'm just gonna see if I can scroll here. Why doesn't it ever let me scroll? That's a pain. Okay. Oh, there we go. Okay, I got it. All right. So, okay. So, I want to say hi to everybody who is here. Trackside Mike, how's it going? He gets the Timbits. Dave Hughes, how's it going? Mike H.O. Trains and Brian Ferguson. Ronald, how's it going? M&M Rails. John Gavin. And Anthony, how's it going, Anthony? And M&M Rails. Did I say M&M Rails already? I think I might have. And Scale Dystopia. Denny, how's it going? Then we have Floyd. Hello, Floyd. How's it going? Welcome, everybody. Dundas, Junction Model Railroad. James. Everybody was so early. Awesome Possum. How's it going? Dwight Curley. Mr. DK. John. 2618. How's it going, guys? Hello. Wigwag. Wow, everybody's here. All the cool kids are here. Nathan, how's it going, Nathan? Hello, everybody. All right, I think I said hi to everybody. If I missed anybody, because I know undoubtedly I do, really sorry. If you're watching this on the replay, thank you for still watching, despite the fact that I am no longer live. It's been a busy week. I've got stories. Let's talk stories. So yeah, you guys know that I'm building a layout. You can kind of see something in shambles behind me here. It's not the whole layout. It's just part of it. But basically on Monday, I think it was Monday night, Mark, M&M Rails, super nice guy. He dropped off some track that he was able to pick up for me. And basically, that would complete the top of my Helix. So, I wasn't able to get to it till Tuesday. I was off on Tuesday. And I bridged, or I was trying to bridge from the top of the Helix to the top level of my layout. Basically, what has happened is that it wouldn't work. Half of my locomotives actually didn't work. And the simple reason for that is that it was just too much of a grade. So, in pure frustration, I tried a bunch of things that didn't make it any better. We've all been there, right? In a last desperate attempt. Okay, let me try this. And let me try this. And it was a whole day event of me trying to make this Helix work. And then I eventually got tired of trying to make it work. I shouldn't make my layout work for my trains. My trains are supposed to be working on my layout. And I don't know if you know this, but I've been in this house for a year now. A year! And I still do not have a main line. I still don't. I don't get to run trains like I want to. I don't get to run trains much of anything, right? Because I've got a yard. You can take a look at my yard. My yard is fabulous, and that's doing it. I've got a reverse loop. That's good too. But there's been a lot of, I guess, give and take with the whole second level thing. And I think a big part of this is that my Helix, the Helix that you guys know from my last layout, I built it specifically for that layout. I built it to work with it. I built it basically with that whole layout in mind. It was made to work with that. It doesn't necessarily mean it would work for this one, but I thought I'd give it a try anyways. So, yeah, it's been tough trying to make a Helix work that was originally, it would come in on a flat, so that was a good thing. And it went upwards counterclockwise. So when I built this Helix, which obviously you can see is no longer here, surprise, surprise, basically the Helix that was here was going up clockwise, so the reverse of what it used to be. And another situation where I use these little cameras, the camera that I'm live with right now, I put that in a well car to keep it nice and low, but it didn't work on my old Helix. The space between was 4 inches, and it was too low, so I could not use these cameras in the Helix. So car would approach, I'd have to remove the camera, and then when it exited the Helix, I'd have to put it back on. Didn't really work all that well in that sense where, well, I want to go up the Helix, you know. So I decided, I said, okay, well, I'm going to give myself a bit more room. And the size that I had in between each level was about 4.5 inches, which kind of seems like overkill now that I think about it. But what happened when I was trying different things with my Helix, it was more or less, okay, so it doesn't work how it is, and the slope going from the top turn to what was bridging across the doorway here, it was going up, and it was about a 3% grade from there. And I'm pretty sure with the way I had it here, it was a 3%. Might have been more, but yeah, it was too much. And the locomotives that were on the lighter side of things, they were too light. And for example, one of my Go Transit locomotives pulling 5 cars, keeping in mind I normally pull 6 or 7 at a time, so 5 was out of the question. And it was just slipping. It was trying to come across a bridge. It wouldn't even make it halfway across the bridge. But then you put a a Gevo on it, and the Gevo itself would make it, and because it's really heavy. So in the spirit of that, I was really frustrated. So I'm like, okay, well, let me see if I'm doing it wrong. Let me try some stuff. So I tried raising all the curved parts of the helix up. So instead of building it up from the bottom, I wanted to go down from the top. And that still didn't work. I don't know why. It just, things were not going across, and they didn't like it. And it felt like it was about 2%. It really wasn't all that much. But in the midst of doing this and raising and lowering and then spreading, and then it got to me. It really got to me. It was one of those moments where, you should walk away from it. You give it a minute. At that point, I had to leave and take my son to soccer. So that was my 2 hours stepping away from it, because I was really frustrated. And then, of course, when I got home, the conclusion to this was that I take it down. And there's a couple of reasons, and I owe a lot of credit to both Mark and Denny. I kind of lean on them like a crutch sometimes, because, I could go to my wife and talk to her about it, but let's face it, I don't know if she knows what a helix is, but so I expressed my concern, and of course, it'll obviously be met with a little bit of disappointment. Darn, it doesn't work. Is there anything that you can do? Well, this is what I tried. So trying to keep things on the positive. I could make a list a mile long of the things that I can't do. So instead of that, I made a very short list of things that I can do. What I can do is keep this whole thing to one level. What I can do is get this done within a month and have a main line going and being able to run trains again and be able to have fun doing it while not overspending, waiting for stuff to show up, supplies and whatnot. And I can get back on track with building a layout that I'll be happy with. There's obviously going to be a lot of questions in regards to this, like, where'd your helix go? Did you throw it out on the front lawn or anything like that? No, it's over there. It's in a pile. Did you save all your track? 100%. I've got when I took the track off, I saved it all in 6 foot lengths. So that's obviously 2 pieces of 3 foot flex connected. And I cut it in such a way that I can reuse all of it. And it was only white glued down, so, they're still very clean. Nothing was weathered. It all came up very easy. Yeah, overspending. Yeah, Russ. I had this conversation. I'll come back to the whole helix thing and the questions with the helix. The one thing that I'm having a little bit of difficulty with at the moment is I'm spending money on building a layout, but I'm not spending money on, buying trains, buying rolling stock. The things that I really want to spend money on. Do I want to spend, $300 on lumber, or do I want to spend $300 and buy myself a new locomotive? New locomotive. So it's difficult to say, okay, well, I still need, at least 2 more boxes of track. I'm going to need so many switches. I'm going to have to go to the lumber store to get a bunch more plywood. Niagara Falls. Can't get rid of that water in the pipe. So things that adds up, obviously. The stuff that I already have, such as the track and whatnot, I can reuse all of it, and I'll be able to get a main line done with just that, because I've got over 40 feet. If I've got 24 times 3. No, or is it times 2? 24. Anyways, math is not my thing right now. I've got a lot of flex track that I can use, and I've already got bench work, except I got to take some of this apart. You'll see me do that in a bit. But I've got lumber that I can use. I've got lots of plywood still that I can take from the top and, implement it here. Because this is where all this is going to go. I'm going to do a loop here. I'm going to have my ethanol plant here. I've been drawing out some things and trying to explain things and whatnot to a couple of the guys as to what I'm going to do, but I'll draw you a picture as we go here. So yeah. The lesson is not never try. I think that the lesson is that if you're going to build a helix, build it to fit the layout. Don't try to move a pre-existing helix and hope it'll work with the new one. I could probably build one better for this specific layout, but I think that with what I did, probably wouldn't work all that well. I don't know. I'm not like super pro at this. And also doing a lot of this by myself really sucks because, that's one set of hands. That's, lots of time it takes to go and do all this and whatnot. So it's not easy. But yeah, so let also sidetrack for a second here. You guys have been watching the new car a day adding to the layout, the shorts. They're getting some pretty decent views, and I really appreciate you guys watching those. And I know some guys have mentioned to me, I'm really looking forward to tomorrow, and I'm looking forward to day 100 and whatnot. I can tell you right now, I have at least 123 days preloaded. So that's 123 shorts that I've preloaded. So that means we're going all the way to November, from July 1st all the way to November. And I'm probably going to keep going beyond that because I know I have like a car that will show up in the mail at some point, and I have some that are still in boxes. So yeah. So I appreciate you guys watching. Why is this? I had to take my DCC system apart, so it's all like jumbled here. Yeah, so again, it's been a very busy week, but I appreciate you guys watching, hanging out, coming to, hang out here. Fred says, sorry, Chris, I feel your pain. At first it felt like defeat. And I don't want you to take that away from this because, we all do things where, okay, well, maybe this will work. And then it doesn't. And you feel defeated. You feel like you failed in one way or another. No sooner did I feel that way that, Denny pointed out some really good things to me in regards to this. And it's like a new beginning, but I have a positive outlook on how I'm going to turn this thing around and make it really, really good. So I don't have that much further to go. I just got to bring it around, do a reverse loop, and then add, an industry and then whatever I do. And then I'm done my layout. Well, as far as the main line anyways. And I've got 2 pieces of track that I need to add in here, which I already have, which I didn't before. So I'm going to finish my yard as well. So that's really good. And I'll be able to take you through this in a moment just to show you guys what I'll be doing. And what I did do, because before I took this all down, I did some work on the top level. But again, I'm going to remove all that, and you'll probably see me do some of that here tonight because I do want to do some work. So, exactly, redirection, absolutely. So, with this, of course. So, where do I start? Where do we go? Okay, so the big question, and I know people might be thinking it, Chris, you built a 3-building structure to house all your locomotives because it's a locomotive repair shop, and that was in my office. I don't know if you can see it from here. You probably can if I do one of these, because that's my office there, and it's at the top. It's in the back corner there. If that's coming down, where's that gonna go, right? Because you put all that time and effort, and it was not cheap, because you're buying 3 of the same kits, obviously, at that point. Oh, cork. So that's gonna go right in the middle here. Obviously, it's very messy right now, but this is my reverse loop at the top of the yard. And I was going to put like a maintenance facility here anyways. So all I got to do is cut a piece of the actual benchwork out, and then I can drop it in and support it from the underside. And then I will have a space here where the big building is going to go. But of course I have to get rid of those supports, and I have to get rid of all this. So I had built this recently because, that's the bottom track that's supposed to be the go line. And I had it going up and around, and then I added this piece on top. But, again, I think that just by removing the top level completely is where I want to go with this. Now, when I say remove the top completely, I don't mean the actual benchwork itself, because what I want to do is I'm going to remove the backdrop. So, the brown stuff that'll make great fascia board, because I do need fascia board. But I'm going to remove that all the way around. Then what I'm going to do is I'm going to raise up just maybe about a foot, I think. I'm going to raise up the actual benchwork by a foot. And then I'm going to remove all the lights that all my new lights, my bar lights. I'm going to remove them from the ceiling, and I'm going to put them on the underside of my actual, what would have been the top level benchwork. And then I'm going to put a fascia board right around it, so it's almost like a valance. I'm sure I'm pronouncing that right. Hey, Randy, how's it going? And Anthony, how's it going? Derek, how's it going? But yeah, so of course, a number of these changes, it's going to take time, and especially with the deconstruction as well, that all takes time. But these are some of the things that I want to do. So again, raising this up, and I can show you this here because it's right behind. So these angle pieces, you can see that I think it's a 10 by 12 piece of angle that helps to support this 2x4 here for the top level. I'm going to flip that upside down, and it's not going to be touching this backdrop. I want to have the backdrop clear, because there's places just like right there and over there, and I can show you here. See how it's right down the middle of the blue background, and it's an eyesore. So I'm gonna take that off. I'm gonna turn it upside down once the backdrop's gone, and I'll raise it up a bit, and then it'll just basically still support it, but from upside down. So I'll be making little improvements like that as well around the layout. I also want to take some of this fascia board that is going around the top of the layout, and I want to lay it down on top of the upper level, just so I can use it for storage. It's not going to be way out of reach, but it's just like it's going to be a light blocker on the top. It's going to keep all the light down. And then I can use the top for storage, just for some light stuff. Some boxes and whatnot. Maybe some of these kits that I have all over the place that don't have a home yet. I really wish I could use my steel mill, but it is what it is. So, yeah, I'm going to need a bigger layout. But yeah, so I think I'll get started here. Before I do, though, of course, along with everything else that's going on here, we still have Third Rail Thursday, and that's what you're watching right now. If this is your first time here, every Thursday there's a group of us that go live every single Thursday night. Usually I'm a lot more on time than this, but, every once in a while. So the first Thursday of the month is usually Denny. He's N-Scale Dystopia. I hope you didn't hear that. N-Scale. Yeah, I'm tired. It's been a long day. It's the second Thursday of the month today, which is normally my week. And next week it's Eminem Rails. He normally does the third week. Now, because we have 5 Thursdays this month, after Mark's week, you'll be back here bothering me again. And I'll be still doing this. I'll probably put up another Helix and take it down, maybe live or something. Uh-oh. Danny, I hope I'm not in trouble. And then, of course, the last Thursday of the month, we'll do GVO After Dark, which we normally do a recap of the month, talk about some interesting topics. And, I know Mark has been ready to go on that new layout, so we'll check in and see how he's doing next week. He's always doing a good show. And Denny holding it down, and he does the Sunday shows as well. I know he doesn't do it every single Sunday, but if you're ever available on a Sunday morning and you don't know what to do, he does these live builds on Sunday, and it's always a good time, so you go check it out. And of course, our Monday night Canadian cohorts, the Dundas Junction and Trackside Mike, of course, they do a live Monday nights. So I think all the promo stuff is out of the way. Maybe we should get to work now. Okay, so yeah, this is the area that the Helix was. You can kind of see these are the posts that were holding it up. That's all going to come out. I cut the track right about here, and it's strictly, I gotta lift this and I gotta remove some screws here to get this out, but I'm probably going to come back a bit more with the, with the cut, and basically I gotta remove some more stuff back here as well. But the plan is, if you imagine this as a big wide open space, I'm going to put a wall down the middle to separate this side from that side. On this side it's going to be an ethanol plant. The main line is going to come around like this, and it's going to follow the side, I guess you could say. And then it'll eventually go down to there, where can you see that pipe? Oh, you can see the pipe. So it'll do a loop around that, and then come back, and then go this way again. So that is just the main line. There's going to be more to it, like obviously with the ethanol plant being here, there's going to be obviously a couple of sidings. I would like to put another train station in, but like on the other side of the dividing wall, and then a couple little industries, of course, just to help with the drop-off and pickup. Maybe something for boxcars. We'll see what happens, but that's really the plan. That's what I've got going on here. So, yeah. But I do have to adjust this section as well, just the height of it. Not a fan. I was thinking about taking it right back and then redoing right from back there. I might not need to because it's going to end up coming this way anyway, so I might just adjust the height and then be done with it. But yeah. I do need to take some of this apart, and I'm going to be reusing, much like previously. Like most of this stuff is all from my last layout. All these screws, a lot of this, wood. This really didn't cost me too much. But at the same time, it's still quite a bit to, deal with. And again, I save all the pieces, so, I don't really need to run out and get new stuff. All these angle irons as well, like these angle pieces, they were all from the last layout. And then if I'm ever looking for a specific piece or whatever, I've got a pile of it, so like I still have about 10 more of those angle pieces, and I'm still going to use them on the top level and stuff there to hold that up. I do need to run a vacuum, so if it does look like I need to run a vacuum, don't worry, I will. Whoop. Down in front. Hey, if you got any locomotives to spare. Thanks for looking out, Vicky. James, your negative attitude is holding me back. That's why. It does happen. I mean, like, I don't think too much of this, I just, if it doesn't work, then make it work, Oh my gosh. You know what doesn't work? Drilling upside down. It's a good thing I made this strong enough to hold me. Okay. And I don't have to crawl under, which is great. There is 2 screws. I knew it. Whoop. think. How did I put this in? Oh my gosh. Okay, hang on. Need my extender thing for that. That's a pain. Because I'm sure that's all the way over there. Oh wait, no, it's over here. Let's take that out after. Problem is doing this upside down. It's a lot more fun than it looks. And just like that, all the posts are down. So now I just gotta remove this section here. And yeah, and this piece will hopefully come right out. I think it's just the one screw. Actually, when when I was taking this thing apart, I was thinking to myself, I'm like, you know, I've been working on this Helix for like 4 or 5 months, and I had it down to what you had seen within 2 hours. So it puts a real, you know, damper on timing. I can barely do hurdles. I couldn't do hurdles before. Why can I do hurdles now? So again, just because I'm using the white glue, I can just whatever. So I need to get. But then it snakes down, and then I can take out that. Of course, it's all gonna come down anyways. So. I don't know if you can actually see what I'm doing. So let me adjust that again. So it's up there. Just put this on the ground for now, so I can probably go back. Hopefully that's enough where I can simply just lift it and then take out the screw. Hey, Chris, how's it going? What's connected? This isn't. So then what is? Is there a thing? Oh, there's a thing here. Of course there is. This is probably the most useful tool that I have, I'd say. It's the extension piece for a drill bit. And it works really, really well. I can't even see. Go around the lip. Whoop. Well, I got the whole thing apart with the one battery, so that's not bad. Why is it not moving now? The screw there. I see it. Get all the way. There we go. Gotta set this down here. Figure out what I'm doing with that later. Okay. Yeah. So, what's that? In typical me fashion, hey, was it not over there the entire time? Weird. Oh well. Guys are just talking about random stuff. No green machines around when I was a kid. Green machine. It's never too late, Randy. So, in typical me fashion, I like to draw out. This is my art. Hopefully I get an A from the teacher. Basically, I wonder if I can explain this at all. So this area here, this entire thing, is this giant area. Dang, did that move at all? I hope not. On that straight, and then you're going to curve and follow this thing around, and then you'll eventually make a loop in there. I'm going to take some of my pieces from the helix, because they're about the circumference that I want to use for most of these curves and whatnot. Also, it's cork that's on wood, and all I got to do is basically put it in place and then run the track, and I'm good. So the circumference is already worked out for me. Cork, I don't need to go spend more money on cork. It's just the bridging pieces between each one, I'm pretty sure, and any other minor adjustments I'm going to have to make. Also, I'm hoping, what I'm thinking of using is the entire top level in there, because what I can do is once that building is out of there and it's on my layout here, I can remove that entire section, and I want to put it as a raised platform, because that's good foam that's on there. It's the half-inch foam, but I'll take that giant section, plop it on here, raise it up with some 2x4s, giving it that support, making sure it works for where it's going to go, and then it's good, So, and then I don't have to worry about it. So that's kind of the plan here with this. So I'm going to see if I can make some of that work now, and I'm going to kind of put it in place. I'm going to work out the height and all that after, but yeah, we'll see what we can do here. Because the sooner I can get some track down on this, I can move these cars kind of out of my yard, which there's a lot of them. Of course, I can always just rebox them, but that's no fun. So I'll have to move most of these out of here, and then that way I can safely do the work that I need to do right above them. So we'll see what happens, but that's the plan here. Okay, so I think I should move this stuff first because it is definitely in the way. I've got all these screws sitting here as well. Put those in the screw holding thingy. The thingy that holds the screws. You know what I'm talking about. It's like a bucket. Okay, maybe I should move this over a bit. I don't think I need to go in there. Okay, good. Oh, actually I do, because these 2x4s have to go in there. Um, let's just let's put it here. Now. But yeah, it really gets eaten up when you're putting all these screws in, then you're moving them up an inch, put more holes in this thing. Like this was the original. 2 holes, 2 holes, 2 holes. You know, I knew exactly where it was going. Where this time, you know, you kind of have to play with it a bit and adjust, and it's like, yeah, it's not going to work. Swiss cheese. I could probably still use those as supports. They're not totally damaged. It was just a screw that was in there. Well, a screw a number of times. But you know what I mean. I definitely need to vacuum, which I will do on the weekend. Yeah, that's it, on the weekend. I wonder if I can put this here just to kind of show you what the plan is for this dividing wall. You know, more or less like that. But it's going to go right from over here to like, you know, here or something. Because this is all going to be ethanol, and then this is going to be something else. So, I wonder if I can just, no, let's just get this. I'm going to put you on the top of the ladle. There we go. Okay, so, yeah, like I was saying, I saved all of my curves from the Helix. I'll show you here just kind of what the plan is with this. Oh, you know what? I could totally do that. And then I need a quarter piece to go up this way. Could probably even cut that in half. Okay. Let's do that for now, just so that that looks okay. Need a couple more. That one's much smaller. Okay. Whoops. Now the thing with this is that I know it shows a double track here. This is just going to be a single track. And obviously cutting into this will be pretty easy. Trust the process. that will curve like that because it's going to go up that way. So then you just need a straight piece here. So it'll come around, go down, and then it's got to come back. I don't mind if this goes like this. Let's kind of give it a bit of space here. Now I could probably make some of these curves a little bit smaller, but they're really just here for now, just to kind of get a look and see how this is all gonna come together. Because obviously, you know, some adjustments will need to be made, so we'll see what happens. But that's kind of what I'm leaning towards here for this. This has got to come off too. Oh, of course, I got 2 screws into it. So again, it's still early yet as to what exactly is going to be happening here, but this is more or less what I kind of want to do. Some of these will probably need to be cut so that I'm not using the full curve of it. Yeah, that's still good. So I'm just removing the cork piece right over the screw, and then I can just that definitely had glue in it. So now I'll be able to adjust that to a height that I can actually run with here. Because the way that the rest of the layout is, if I take a 2x4, I'll put it on its side. That's, of course, if you level it, you drill it in proper, that is the height of the rest of the layout. So that's the main level there. See, even with this, I'm not opposed to attaching that as is. I'm pretty sure this is the piece, or it could have been the piece that was here previously, but it's hard to say. that'll come in like that and then go around. And then I could even fit a third track here, which would be the third line for the section here. Now, I also thought, I said, well, I could make this section here a Y, because I can still come out this way. I don't have the piece going over the door anymore. So if I really want a piece coming out here, I probably wouldn't go any further than maybe 2-3 feet from the benchwork here. So that's 2 feet. So I can come out about 3.5 feet from here. That's 3 feet. And I can add something here. I want to keep that clear. Say about here. So that's 3. That's I could do 4. I could do a 4 foot section here. So I don't know. It's also a possibility I can use this space here. I mean, most of the time we're either sitting on chairs or walking around, but there's still plenty of other space to use. So I just want to get the main line done first, get that dealt with, and then from there, if that works, great. If not, make those changes. But that's just additional. That's a side quest right there. So, I do want to obviously make that smaller. That's too big of a, because it's still going to come back. And I could probably remove that 2x4 as well, because that doesn't necessarily need to be there. I do need to adjust those side pieces so that they're more flat with this. They were just an extension piece that I had added. So, yeah. Just want to check on the chat here, see how everyone's doing. That road bed those don't look too solid. So, I mean, this here is half inch plywood. So these are the pieces I used for my helix, and it worked just fine. Once I put the bracing underneath for all of this, it'll be a lot more sturdy. It's just obviously looking at it like this, there's no real support or direction for any of this. So yeah, it's gonna look a little cruddy at the moment, but once I get everything in place where I want it to, then it'll look a lot better. Let's see. So wait for someone to come down here. Not sure of your plan. Well, again, the loops, I just wanted to kind of get an idea. I'm going to make it a smaller loop than that. And like I said, I do have to move that 2x4 that's against the wall, or that middle one there, so that'll give me a bit more of a squeeze in that general area. But hopefully it works out. If not, I can always come off the main line from back there and then come around this way and just do a single line. But and then of course do all the industrial stuff in the middle. We'll see what happens. But are you gonna have a helix? No. I'm just gonna do main level. That's it. So obviously on this side here, like at this end here, this loop I want to say is a 29-inch radius. But you can see, it's not super tight, but it works. It works with 6-axle, works with passenger. And then when you take that, I'll do another one over here in this area. And then go from there. But of course, I need to make the adjustments, need to cut some, what do they call it? Sub-road bed. So I still have lots of work to do, but as you can see, I just got most of that apart and I'm done clearing the area. So it will take a bit more work to do. We'll see what happens, but I'm hoping for the best. I just want to be able to run trains, and I can't do that if I'm waiting for all these switches and whatnot for the top. I can go ahead and I can do the bottom level, and make sure that works, of course. But once I readjust everything, it'll look a lot better. But yeah, everything takes time, unfortunately. And for the summertime, I'm usually pretty busy in the summer. There's soccer 4 nights a week. Yeah, 4 nights a week. And then everything else that's going on, work is really busy as well. That's why I was so far behind today. I was stuck on a call for an extra half hour beyond my actual shift. Who doesn't like overtime? But at the same time, I'd rather not work anymore. So. But yeah, summer has been pretty hectic. Like I said way earlier on. Tomorrow's my youngest son's birthday, so that's why I'm like, most of the stuff that I'll be doing is probably not going to start until like next week. But now that I've got a clean slate or a clean something or other to work on, I think it's going to go a lot quicker, and I'll piece it all together, and we'll see what happens, because yeah, still quite a bit to do, of course. But what made you want to do this all over again? Frustration. You'll have to watch back into the beginning where I talked smack about my Helix and the trials and tribulations of grades, and like I envy the whole thing where it's like, if you got a flat, super flat, ultra flat layout, you're making it work, and that's good, because I tried, I had grades on my last layout, and I made it work. It's kind of a pain, but at the same time, I could run all my stuff. There wasn't any issues there. On this one, if I was only able to run half of what I own, just because some locos are heavier than others, I wouldn't truly be happy. And I think that's a big part of this. You got to be happy with what you have. If you're not happy with it, then it's going to, make you not want to do it. And the more I thought about it, the more I just wanted to get it over with. Because if I sat on it and I was like, well, I'm going to hum and haw over this for, 3 or 4 days, and, it wouldn't get done. It would sit there, and I would dread it, and I wouldn't want to look at it, I wouldn't want to touch it, wouldn't want to, be near it. So instead, I just did what I felt was the best thing to do, and that was to just take it apart and then start over, but with a new direction. I like the idea of having 2 separate layouts, except, I'm either working on one layout or I'm working on the other, and I'd rather just work on one, get it done, so I can, run trains on that. I'm not too concerned with doing a secondary layout. Even if I had, let's say, N-scale stuff, I could easily run an N-scale layout on half of this bench work. Would it be weird? Yeah, kinda, because then I'd be spending money on 2 different scales, and that's another thing. I'd rather put all my coin and whatnot into HO scale, because that's what I primarily do. Yeah, it was the grades, Derek. I was trying to give it enough space in between each level to fit the camera car, and then I realized it got to a point where I'm like, I don't care about the camera car anymore, and then just trying to make it work in general. Because then I brought it to back to the 4-inch mark, but it still wasn't bridging over from the top of the helix to the top part of the layout there, and I'm just like, like I can't win. I wasn't always designed to win, but I just kept a fresh attitude about it, and I said, you know what, that's fine, I don't need a helix, I'm just going to do the one level and get it done and be happy about it, because I just want to run the trains. That's it. Mark gave him yeah, right. When I look at this layout, I want to start over in spots. It happens. If you're not happy with certain things, then of course, you're going to want to start over. Most of these layouts, every time I've built one, and you guys know that I've built quite a few, is that, if you're not happy with it, you're learning things every single time you do a layout. And I can tell you, if I ever did a new layout at a new house in the future, if I was going to do a helix again, I would build it to meet the specifications of that layout in that space. I wouldn't take my pre-existing helix over to that house and try to make it work, because that's what I tried to do here, and it doesn't work. So, do I miss the old? There's times where I miss the old layout. Yeah. There's things about it that I don't miss. When we're building layouts and whatnot, we learn all these things. What would I do differently? We all have these conversations. This is nothing new. And that's why I do Code 100 now. Because it's one of those things that on my old layout, I wish I did. I'd miss it a heck of a lot more if I did Code 100 on my old layout, let me tell you. But with even with this layout, doing Code 100 on everything, it's not really my plan. Like, if I had a permanent layout in a permanent location where I work on it, and then that's my forever layout, I would be doing Code 100 on the main line and then Code 83 on the sidings. I know some people do Code 70 on sidings, maybe even smaller in some cases, but for what I run and what I like to run, I prefer Code 100 on the main line. It gives it that raised up look that obviously the other codes don't give you. And especially when you're going around a corner and you have your super elevated curves, the banked curves, it just looks so good compared to Code 83, which is obviously a lot smaller of a rail. It still gives you that same look, but it's not, you're not as high up. So I don't know, that's personally just that's my 2 cents. Doesn't mean you're wrong, doesn't mean I'm right. It's just what I personally prefer. Everybody has their own thing. A lot of people say, no way, Code 100, too big, too sloppy, no way. I personally think it's cheating using Code 100. If you want things to run flawlessly, just use Code 100. But that being said, I don't mind, I don't mind, because I'm here to enjoy the hobby, and I'm here to run trains and have fun doing it. The Ottawa Club has both Code 100 and Code 83 on the main line. It really depends on the module. And from far away, you can't really tell. And it all runs the same. Yeah. This code, this is this is Code 100. Let's see here. Can we see this? You didn't know. Wigwag, you didn't know. It's just, it looks so much better, you know, under these cars, and you're really raising them up at that point, you know. Yeah, Dennis brought his turbo train over to my old layout. It was the first time I had run or seen the turbo run. Not much of the layout was done at that point, but most of the bottom level was. And yeah, that was fun because, you know, and I'm still on the fence about getting the new one. I don't know why. I don't know what's, you know, kicking my butt about this, but it's like, I think it's just the fact that I still don't even have my main line done. And if I go out and I get an $800, $900 locomotive set, I'm going to want to run it right away. And I can't for obvious reasons. And one of the things was, I was really worried. I'm like, will it even work on my layout? Because, you know, you hear about guys having issues with the, you know, the well, new or old turbo train. There was issues with both. Different issues, but yeah, nothing's perfect. I don't blame Rapido, but, you know, it happens. I use code 83 because that was what was in the layout kit I purchased from Atlas. Yeah, and I think, you know, if you guys go back, which at some point I'll put out the video, my 10-year anniversary video, one of my old layouts had Atlas code 100, believe it or not. Atlas, because I'm old school. I'm very old school. That's what I grew up with, was the Atlas code 100. Old habits die hard, let me tell you. But it wasn't until I did go to the Ottawa Train Club and saw how realistic, or how more realistic, again, in my opinion, Pico is. And, I mean, you can put the Pico right next to Atlas. I don't have Atlas here, but the ties are just, they're nicer for... Yeah, but code 100, I mean, whatever you're using, you know. Code 100 works for me. Chris, do you have room to go around the room and those points? Around the room. Define around the room, because there's no room beyond the furnace, and I need to keep the furnace clear for obvious reasons. It's a furnace. Some, like, you know, somebody always comes to, you know, do the maintenance on it or whatever. I think it's like a yearly check or something like that. I don't know. We just got to make sure it's clear. But, yeah, so I can't really go back and around that way. I just want to stick to this area. One of the cool things is, though, and I thought about this earlier, I thought to myself, if I do like a downtown kind of scene, because I do want to do a train station, you know, Rapido does have those TTC streetcars, and I've often said, oh, well, what's the point of getting a streetcar unless you have, you know, the street set up with the rails and whatnot, because, you know, if I was putting that on my main line, it would look stupid, right? Personally, I mean, you're not going to put a streetcar on your main line where your Gevos and whatnot are running. You have to have a separate line for it altogether. That's the rule. It will take me 3 to 4 years to get as far as Chris got in 6 months. Well, I've been here for a year, and I don't feel like I'm any further ahead than I was 6 months ago, if I'm being honest. You know, it's just one of those things where you get so far and you realize I don't want to go any further until I know that this is going to work. And if it's not going to work, then you have to make those changes or those sacrifices to make it work, and make it work well, and make it work for what you have. You know, I got to have bigger curves because I have bigger, longer cars, like my passenger stuff. and normally you don't have your passenger stuff mixed in with your freight, but I'm trying to do a little bit of both. Most people are either one or the other, but I like both, so I'm going to do both. I'm going to try anyways. Pico switches for sure. Yeah, I mean, I've never really had any issues with Pico switches, so I don't mind. It's something that I'll probably continue using. So, my present layout is Atlas Code 100, 1988 vintage for my new around the layout room. Shelf layout is Pico Code 83. I have already bought a box of it from OVR. Yeah, I had boxes and boxes of Code 83. I think if I had saved all my Code 83 from the last layout, this layout would have been done a lot quicker. But I don't like using used track. I don't want to be that guy. But I don't want to sit there cleaning track. I mean, I already did a lot of that. So I just buy all the fresh stuff. What are the mortgage rates? I don't know. I haven't bothered looking recently. Sidetracks likes both passenger and freight as well. It's good. There's a lot of areas where you'll have the passenger pass through freight areas. A good example, like you guys know that I like to railfan in Smiths Falls. That's a CP yard, freight all the time. But there's a section, and it's right where we normally sit. That used to be a train station, and the VIA would stop there. But they moved the station down the line, and even though the VIA cuts through the yard, it exits the yard not too far, like maybe within a kilometer, and they intersect with each other, but they don't run on each other's lines, if that makes sense. So you'll see them together, they'll pass by each other, but they'll exit right after, and one goes one way, one goes the other way. So, yeah. It's crazy to think that I paid $1,000 for my house. Well, $150,000. Okay, yeah. Well, that's not bad, James. Yeah, I think you were telling me about that. Yeah, to have less payments and whatnot. I think I still have another 5 years on my SUV, so I wish it was less. Yeah, because that's a lot of extra payment going out every single month. Actually, bi-weekly. So I'd have a lot more money for trains at that point. Don't tell my wife. Usually, like the way it's been with all the places that I've lived, anyways, we have this like 4-year issue where every place we've been in, it's always 4 years and then we have to move. And of course, I'm nervous about being here, and it's already been 1 year. What's going to happen in 3 years, right? And I know I hear it all the time, Chris, why don't you just do a modular layout? And I hear you, but I'd rather I like how sturdy, these ones are. And again, this is all lumber from my old layout. All these modular pieces, all of these, it's all from my last layout. I reused all of it. And yes, it took a while to sort it out, but, and some of them had to be cut down or whatever. But it's basically like having a free layout that you're Lego piecing together to build a new one. So it was very fun in that respect. And besides, I think I also used a lot of my 2x4s to build my office too. Yeah, because a lot of them were like that, the 8-foot lengths or whatever, but I think like slightly cut down. 7.5, I think. or 775. Yeah, they were cut down to 775. And then, yeah, I ended up building some walls and then drywalling. So the only thing I had to buy was the drywall for that. I can't really go around the whole room because there's like, so much stuff, and I can't really like block anything off. So I'm just trying to stick to this open area here, and obviously some of this too. So I don't want to exceed where, what I've got, because we are running out of storage space. Even at the old house, we had a shed and everything. We had a 2-door garage, and most of the stuff that is down here in storage, which is way down there, that was all in the garage. So we had, that extra space. But every time we move, we've had to get rid of like so much stuff, except for the trains. And, even like all my Christmas ornaments are in bins underneath the layout, just so that it's easy for me to, get to come November, right? Wigwag says, I admire your positive attitude. Well, the hobby is meant to be a positive thing. If I was not having fun, if I wasn't, positive about it, then either I'm doing it wrong or, I shouldn't be doing it, Don't do the things that bring you joy. This brings me joy, It's just, I'm missing that one little piece, which is running the actual trains. I love doing scenery. I love laying track. But I want to be able to run the trains. And the only way I'm going to get to run the trains is if not necessarily a quick fix, but a solution. I need a solution, and that solution is just keep it all one level and, work this out so that I can run trains sooner than later. I want to get back to doing scenery and doing the live shows where I just put on trains and let them run, and that's fun to me. And I always got a lot of positive feedback from you guys when I was doing my train running on the last layout. Sure, 3 levels is a lot more fun to look at, but I do want to also work on switching. I've got a whole yard here that I can do switching in, like just yard switching, and I think that'll be lots of fun. And then, of course, the few industries like my paper mill. I really want to put my ethanol plant in, because that will cover both my hoppers and my tank cars, which I do want to get some more tank cars. I think I've got too many hoppers. It says no one ever. But, yeah, I do want to get some more tank cars. But I think, putting the ethanol plant in will be lots of fun. You can do a 2-track main line around the room. Yeah, I don't know. I don't want to go back in there and over by the furnace and stuff like that. I'm okay with like sticking to the side here. I just don't want to go in that area. It might be a bit much. And also, I want to avoid lift outs and duck unders. And it's low enough that, I can, like, I'm sitting on a chair right now, and if I had my throttle, I could run things here, and that's fine. I don't care too much about the height. The height's a whatever thing, if anybody was wondering about that. But, Hey, Canadian Locomotive Logistics, how's it going? Yeah. Are you using OBS? Not currently, no. I've got, I'm using this application here that I can control my cameras. So, for example, I tap it, it goes over to my yard, and you get to see some of my cars sitting there, looking all sad because they can't go anywhere. And then I click it again, and it goes to an overview of the room, kind of. So, yeah. Very nice, very nice. And then back to me, because why not? I get to talk off your ear. I wonder if I should take that down. Yeah, I had this all set up here where I built a platform up top where I was going to put a intermodal facility, and then I've got my GO line that kind of goes up and around it. But now that I think about it, it's like, would that have even worked? I don't know. And I wasn't about to lay track and wire it just to find out it wasn't. I mean, the grade's okay. The grade there is fine. And it goes up on a curve, so there's a lot more friction. So, yeah. So, we'll see. I think I will take that. I'm going to just turn this. And I'm going to take this thing down. Because I do want to sit it on the bottom here. I know that there was one screw that I had to remove. But of course, in order for me to remove it, I need my ladder because I'm short. This one. Oh, no, there's another one and it's over there. I can probably remove that. Nice. Okay, 2 more screws, I promise. Promise it's just going to be 2 more. Wonder how heavy this is. So that's kind of cool. So this was an entire part for up here. And now it's down here. Well... same radius as the outside of this, which that's, understandable. I needed to take this piece off as well. And I know I haven't actually, it seems like I haven't done anything. I have, just not a lot, and, a lot of this is me thinking. It's like, how would this look? Or, should I do this? Or should I put this here? Once I see what I can do, or what will work, what won't work, might be a lot easier to determine what needs to be done. Like I have this big piece here. This was from the last layout too. I'm sure the movers thought that was kind of neat when I brought that over from the old house. I'm wondering if that could replace that whole thing. Yeah, that 2x4 definitely needs to come out. But that's a job for another day. I don't care too much about doing that right now. Well, it's a process, and I know, again, it looks like a mess, right? Layouts are never clean anyway, so it is what it is. I'm still working on the time off there, Sparky. Yeah, it's all about the timing. I did. I can actually give me a second here, because Jeans. Fit this whole thing, but I'm going to put in a good portion of it. There we go. Okay, so yeah, so the meet and greet that Sparky is doing, it's Friday, August 22nd, but it's a 3-day event. This is kind of the itinerary. So on the Friday, there's a tour of the Ontario Southland Railway, their shops. Years ago, they let us walk the tracks, and very cool. They got some there. Uh, Shot of that entire thing, which is pretty cool. You can actually catch that video on the OVR that posted, because in the video there's a drone shot of the entire meetup at off at Sparky, and I'm sure he'll provide his address if you, or if you already know where he lives, then that makes it easy as well. The next day, which is Saturday, August the 23rd, 9 a.m. bright and early. Eat your Wheaties, and then meet at the Elgin Country Railway Museum. And then 2 p.m. is a visit to Waterloo Central Railway for a train ride. I'm pretty sure, and you'll have to correct me if I'm wrong, Sparky, are they the guys that do the mini train? Are they in that park? I might be wrong on that. It's probably something else. Waterloo Central. Okay, well, yeah, they've got the GMD1, right? And then 5:30. There's a dinner on a train. Was it chicken or fish? I don't know what it is, but yeah, make sure you reach out to Sparky for pricing and for reservation. Of course, bring that special someone, and there's a dinner on a moving train, so that's pretty cool. Then Sunday, August 24th, 9 a.m. You can visit Mini Prince headquarters, downtown Toronto, and the Canadian goes right by because he's got the railroad cam outside, so probably goes out back of the building, which is pretty cool. I think it might be cut off there. I don't know if there's more to it. I know that they're doing the Little Canada as well on Sunday, which would be right after that. I don't know what time is that for. Chicken or brisket. I was close. It's usually chicken and something. Brisket would be so good. If the brisket's done well, do the brisket. You can have chicken anytime. Do the brisket. But yeah, go brisket or go home. But yeah, so I know a lot of people are looking forward to that. I'm still, pending. We'll call it pending. Little Canada's at 11. Okay, there you go. I know the end of summer is usually pretty busy for my family, so we'll see what happens, but I hope to make it out to something, to one of those things. We'll see what happens. Mini Prince at 9. Let's see. Little Canada. Floyd, they took it down. Who lost their lease? I have brisket at least twice a week. Dang. Wigwag, I don't know if you guys have Firehouse subs out where you are in the US of A, but Firehouse is still fairly new to us. Like, I'm up in Ottawa, and there's one just down the street from me. There's this, and Firehouse subs, obviously it's a sub place, right? Make donations and it goes to the local fire department and whatnot as well. Do your part. They're doing that difficult work, so fighting fires and whatnot. So always support, your local fire department. With the Firehouse subs, one of the best ones, the one that I always get when I go, is the brisket. And I don't know if it's the sauce they put on there or just the melted cheese with the brisket. Yeah, I don't know what it is, but it gets me something for dinner, and my stomach is all like, "Urgh." So I don't think they're still, you know. Yes, Sparky did do a video for each day, and of course, you want to make sure you leave a comment on the corresponding video, depending on the day and where you want to go and all that, so that he has an accurate amount of, almost like a reservation. You're like making a reservation, so you know you obviously got to let him know if you're going or not. You know. I'd love the St. Thomas Museum. I want to go find Jumbo. Or is it Jumbo or Dumbo? No, it's Jumbo. Jumbo the elephant. I want to go find him. He's out there in St. Thomas somewhere. So that'll be fun. Lots of history in St. Thomas. Let me tell you guys. If you're a history buff, which I am not, I watch stuff about trains. But yeah, it'll be a good time, and I think a lot of people, whoever is going, I think it'll be great. Great camaraderie. Sparky always, you know, he's a great host. Jumbo. Is it Jumbo? Yeah, it's Jumbo. Like Jumbo Video. Do you guys remember Jumbo Video? I remember the good old days when we rent stuff. You can walk into a Jumbo Video and they had free popcorn. Not like now where you go to, you know, Netflix and it's all garbage. So... Sorry, Netflix. But yeah, Sparky's always an amazing host, and he always does the US one, but this year wanted to do Canada. Definitely hope that I can make it out for something that weekend. Come see you guys. Especially you guys that are down in the States that are coming up to Canada. I know I don't make it down to the US of A a lot. You know, I usually go to Springfield in January, but I know even there, not a lot of people get to make it out to Springfield. So it'd be nice to see a lot of you guys, meet a lot of you guys who, you know, take the time to watch, comment, and all that on the videos. You know, I'm sure I've talked to you in other people's chats as well. So, you know, it would be nice to put a face to the name, you know. Dennis knows Jumbo Video. I don't know if they had a theme song, and I'm probably not going to sing it, but I'm pretty sure, like, you know, because that was my youth. I would go and I would rent Super Nintendo games from there. I would try it. If I liked it, I'd buy it. That's how it was. It was like a try it before you buy it type thing. Randy says, go here, go home. I picked up Walther's Mainline with DCC and sound. I paid $2.25 Canadian National. Nice. I have the Intermountain version of this, but I know which one you're talking about. Those were they're the mainline, so it's like the blue box. I got one of those for Trackside. No, not Trackside. M&M Rails. I got one of those for M&M Rails because they're really good. They're very good pullers. They've got a very good motor, and it also comes with lock sound. So I'm really happy with the Walthers and how they partnered up with lock sound. ESU. I have mostly the Intermountain ones, the Gevos, but I love my Heritage units. I had to collect all of them. So. All right, CLL, have a great night. Thanks for coming on watching. We got the Smokehouse beef and cheddar from Firehouse. Yes, the Smokehouse beef and cheddar. Yeah. That's the one. Okay, so yeah, because the first time I tried it, I was with my family and we were in an airport on our way back from Disney, and we were starving. And the plain food, I don't know if you've ever had plain food. but it's not great. So yeah, we were in a layover, and there was a firehouse, and my wife, who's more used to the USA and stuff like that and traveling, she's like, "Oh, you got to try Firehouse," and I'm like, "All right, brisket sounds neat." And then I fell in love with it, and then they opened up the Firehouse out here, so yeah, it's one of my go-tos. The meatball is also really good, but I find with meatball, you get meatball sub one place, you're getting the same thing anywhere you go. It's a meatball sub. You can't be disappointed with a meatball sub. So, Jumbo 200 store was in Ancaster. Star was in the sidewalk. Oh, neat. I do have a video for discounted hotel. Oh, neat. Okay, so if you're out of town and you're staying in the area around, I think is it near your place, Sparky, or is it closer to like Otter Valley and stuff like that? Well, anyways, he'll tell you. So there's a video. Check out the video, and then there's a discount rate if you stay there. You just use the code, which you got the hookups for that. That's pretty good. Hook and ladder, ham and turkey, yum, Firehouse. Nice. LCS, good night, everyone. Thanks for sharing your railroad journey. Not a problem. Thanks for watching. I could do this with just some music on, but I like to share this stuff. The journey. It's all about the journey, So we'll figure it out. We'll get there. And I think that in a couple of weeks, which you'll be back in a couple of weeks, I'll have some stuff figured out, and it'll be a lot cleaner. I hope. I hope the layout's going to be cleaner. I got to run a vacuum, like I said. But I'll get organized, and we'll see what we can come up with here, because there's a lot of potential. It's, you're looking at about 6, 7, 8 feet in both directions. I could put a couple of 4x8s on this thing and just make the whole thing like Saskatchewan flat. But I won't, because I like rolling hills and stuff like that. I like the whole, the scenery and the scenic and trees, and I want to put like a water feature, not real running water, you know what I mean? Like just, whatever that stuff is called. It smells really bad. Like the water pour stuff. Resin? Is it resin? Yeah, it's like resin or something. It smells bad, but yeah. Wigwag's taking off as well. You have yourselves a great night. It is 10 o'clock, so that means, we'll wrap things up here. I don't think I want to keep you too long, and you guys were gracious enough to hang with me this far, so I really appreciate all of you for watching. What's today? Today's the 10th, so tomorrow's day 11. I hope you guys enjoy the add a car to my layout every single day. You'll notice that today was a locomotive because it was the 10th day. So just something to watch for. Every 10 days, there's going to be a new locomotive. The secret here with the locomotives is that I don't leave them on my layout because they're expensive and fragile. So I filmed it and then I would put it back. But it's always different. So with the cars, like I said, I've got over 100 preloaded, ready to go. I've added a car every single day. Or I will be adding a car every single day. Watch for those new, whatchamacallit, those new rules coming to YouTube, where if you're going to upload a video, it has to be original content and all that. You can't use, AI to create videos for you anymore. Not that I ever did, but actually I think there was one short that I did where I created an AI short, but it's not really my style. But yeah, you won't be able to do that anymore, or at least the people who did won't be able to. So they're looking for original content, and you know, just be careful because you don't want to get your videos taken down and all that. If that's what you're into, uploading videos. Some people just like to watch. Well, that's it for tonight. Come back on Monday. Well, not here, but over on James's and Mike's channel, Dundas Junction, Model Railroad, and Trackside Mike. I'm not sure which one of them are live, but they usually take turns. And I just always look for the pop-up that tells me that one of them is going live. And that's how I remember. M&M Rails is next Thursday. He's working on his layout, just like me. Hopefully he's farther along than I am. He might have his main line done before me. So we'll see what happens. But we'll be over there hanging out. And yeah. So enjoy the hobby, how you do.